On worksheet 1, we're looking for the places where y equals 0. We call these zeros of the equation, and as you'll see as we go on in this unit, we use this to find the solutions to quadratic equations. So just know for now that this is an important point to learn. It's when y equals 0. We call them the zeros or the solutions to the quadratic equations. So from a table, all you have to do is look for where this equals 0. So this particular one equals 0 at -3 and at +3. All right, so I'm going to do the odd ones and I'm going to leave the even ones for you to do. So on this one, our zeros are here and here, where it crosses the x-axis, or where y is 0. So that's at -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and at 2. So in a table, we're just looking for when y is equal to 0. So in this case, we only have 1, so it's at x equals 2. I was going to do the odd ones and leave the even, but I skipped. So here we go. So the odd one, in this case, there are 2 places where y equals 0. So you would have to write down 2 zeros. And in this one, there are also 2 places where y equals 0. So you would have to write down 2 zeros there as well. And I'll let you figure out which ones those are. And as we come on down here, it says using a graphing calculator find the zeros, and there's 2 ways you can do that. So let's go over here to our graphing calculator. And we just type this function in. So x squared plus 1x minus 20. And that, we go ahead and graph it, so we could find it from the graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's -5. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's -5 and 4. We could also do it same thing from the table. So we're looking for when y is equal to 0. So at 4 and at -5. There's also another way. If it doesn't come out evenly, I believe I gave all of them that came evenly on here. But if we're in the graph, if we want to figure out what it is, there is another function. So second calculate, we've used calculate before. We're going to tell it to find the zeros. So it will just find them for you. But it only finds one at a time. So it's going to ask you a funny question here. Left bound. It's asking you, do you want that 0 or do you want that 0? So I have to tell it I want to be between there and there. So I have to pick some value that's over here to the left. So I'm just going to pick -10 because I know that's to the left. And then I want some value that's to the right of this one. So I'm going to pick 0. And that gives me my 0, -5. And if I want to find the other one, I have to go second, calculate my 0, which is 2. Then I have to tell it a point over here and a point over here. So left bound, something to the left is 0. Something to the right is 10. And it will tell me my answer, which is 4. The advantage of using this method is it will work no matter if it's a decimal or not. If you use the table, you're going to have the problem of it's only going to show up if it's a whole number. Okay? So here we go. So odds. I'm going to do the odds. You're going to do the evens. So number 9 we do x squared minus 9x plus 14, and we graph it, and it looks like it's going to be 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 and 7. Check on the table if that's exactly what it is. So we're looking for when y is 0, so 2 and 7. So it was what it looked like. Good. We'll go ahead and show you the other method again because that's going to come in handy later on. So from our graph, I go second, calculate, 0. Seems like a lot of work right now, but when they don't come out evenly later on, this is going to be a lot easier. So I need something to the left, so I'm going to pick 0. Something to the right, but not to the right of this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And it tells me that 0. And I have to do it again for the other one. You may not use this one right now, but later on, I promise this is going to be easier. So something to the left, so maybe here at 4. Something to the right, so I can pick 10. And it will give me that 0 as well. All right, so for 11 and for 12, we have to do one more thing, because you notice this isn't in the form y equals. So we need it in the form 0 equals blah, 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 blah. So we've got to move this over. So to move a term over, we just do the opposite, right? So what's the opposite of minus 30? Plus 30. Nothing to add that to, so that's just going to cross out. And we have 0 equals x squared plus 13x plus 30. So we type that into our calculator. X squared plus 13x plus 30. And we graph it. It looks like it's negative 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Negative 3 and negative 10. Let's look at our table and see if that's exactly right. So we're looking for negative 3 is y is 0, and negative 10 is y is 0. So my answers are negative 10 and negative 3. So again, I'm going to show you one more time the other method. So from the graph, we go calculate our 0. And this one actually might give us a hard time because it has to be on the graph for this to work. So let's see. So left bound 10, like negative 11. Let's see if this is going to work. No. So what we have to do on this is we have to change our window a little bit. So we go in our window change and go negative, whatever. We just change this to something so it fits. So negative 20, now it'll fit on there. So we go back to our graph, and now we can find our zeros. Calculate 0, so negative 11 or 12. And the right bound, how about negative 5? Just anything in between there. And it gives us negative 10. Go back into calculate. We have to do it again for the other one. So negative 5 would be to the left. 0 would be to the right. Don't know what I did. Calculate 0. So negative 5 would be to the left. 0 would be to the right. And there's our other 0, negative 3. So that was the same solution. So you may not use this right now. I wanted to go ahead and show it to you because we're going to have some where it doesn't come out evenly later. And that is a much easier method than doing it out the long way.